It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
Quick reminder, all of the lore and information, storyboards, etc. are from Nexter Global and Hero Wars webpage, as well as in-game content, which I'll link below. And any stat and skill information that is not from in-game content that I show is from Dan Buccini's Dan Butch Casting Hero Wars Guide, which I will also link below. Thanks.
What is a weapon? Good or evil? Killer or protector? Who carries the blame for spilling a stranger's blood? The blade or the master? By the order of Zafir, Sargor II, owning a weapon was prohibited under the penalty of death. Only Zafir, the ruler of the Khaganate, and his guards had the right to bear arms. For a commoner, owning a weapon was a terrible crime, which spelled death for the transgressor. But the young boy who managed to worm his way into the Khaganate treasury had something way more interesting to think about. The street urchin had never managed to get this far before. With a proud look on his face, he strutted between piles of gold, his dirty little fingers prodding at the diligently polished, precious vases, cups, and bowls. It wasn't the first time here for Elmir. He never took too much, just enough to survive, and yet he kept finding new excuses to return. Quietly, he strolled in the quiet company of the piled-up gold, listening to something only he could hear. Then suddenly, he froze, as if a strange noise startled him, and briskly walked into the west chamber of the treasury. There again he stood still for a moment, listening intently, and confidently approached a small wardrobe full of precious cloth and rugs. As the door swung ajar, the boy finally saw what he had been looking for all this time. Long, ornate blades adorned with a precious filigree of silver and gold. The very blades that beckoned the boy in his dreams, the reason why Elmir kept returning to the treasury time and time again in search of them. The street urchin grabbed both swords, and tipped up on a suit of intricate armor lay on the floor, falling flat as a strange feeling overcame him. He felt as his body was about to split into four, each with a life of its own. Everything his translucent copy saw and heard, he saw and heard as well. But amazement gave place to horror when Sargor II's guards barged into the treasury to investigate the noise. Suddenly, Elmir's copies walked towards the guards and started to fight them on their own. Not being a skilled swordsman, the street urchin grabbed both blades with one hand to make a quick escape, and then, to the boy's great surprise, the blades joined together as if by miracle and turned into an exquisite bow as a quiver full of well-crafted arrows appeared on Elmir's back. He heard a whisper in his mind, telling him how to draw the bow, raise the elbow, and take aim. Several minutes later, Elmir and his copies escaped the treasury room, the guards all lying dead on the floor. Soon, the copies disappeared into thin air like a dream, and the street urchin found shelter in an abandoned home. Tired, exhausted, and completely confused, he was trying to understand what had just happened to him, and then he heard a voice clearly emanating from his newfound weaponry. "We welcome you, Elmir, son of Turkazaria, born in secret. At last we have found you, the last heir to the throne, son to a father murdered by the heinous usurper, Sargor II. Who are you, and what do you want from me?" The boy looked around in panic, trying to find the source of the voice. "We are the Blades of Many Truths, keeper of a secret discovered by enemy." The Blades told the boy a story of how the ancestors of the Khazari once provided great aid to the Titans and received a wonderful gift, legendary weaponry ensouled and bearing immense power. A story of how Sargor II swore fealty to the darkness in return for the cold fire that brought all 50 blades to submission and made them serve him. Only the Blades of Many Truths managed to escape the Kingslayer usurper. At this time, the Blades had searched, calling out for the Khazari heir to join him and bring retribution to the villain. Elmir believed the weapons and accepted the gift openly. Once a street urchin covered in dirt, the bastard son of the Khaganate's true Zafir took it upon himself to save his homeland and the legendary weapons earned by his ancestors. He managed to wrest the freedom of over 36 blades from evil, but the rest disappeared with Sargor and his retainers when the evil usurper escaped. Elmir joined the ranks of the Guardians to purge the dominion of all darkness and rescue the weapons forged by the light. So how do you get Elmir Soulstones? Well, there's really only 4 ways in this game to get them, and the main ways, there are 2, and one is to purchase his stones outright.
from the Outland shop, and you can see you get 5 of his soul stones for 500 Outland coins. So that's the first way, and you can do that every day. Of course, you can reset your shop every day to buy 5 more. You can additionally get lucky and get his soul stones out of the heroic chest. Of course, the heroic chest is something that you can get access to every day, but you can also buy more chests for 200 or for 1 or 1500 for 10 more. And you can get just about every hero in the chest. I believe you can get every hero in here aside from Jet. I think maybe Anvari has not been added just yet at the time of making this video, and of course you can't get Anvari on mobile. So there's that. Additionally, you can get Elmir Soul Stones if he is the hero of the month, either on mobile or Facebook. You can see over here in the daily quests, in the special events, this month on Facebook, it's Anvari. And if he happens to be the hero of the month here, you can also get his soul stones if he is the target of a 3-day event. Those limited time 3-day events on mobile, it happens twice a week. On Facebook, it happens every weekend. So that's how you get Elmir. So let's take a deep dive into this guy. He aesthetically is one of my favorite heroes. I wish that I could find a comp that he worked in better than others. I really like the look of this guy, and I really like some of his skins, but let's talk about him. I'll go over his stats more in depth a little bit later, but first of all, he's a frontline warrior/marksman. His primary stat is agility. He has 4 abilities, just like everyone. His ultimate or activated ability, whatever you want to call it, Elmir moves to the far line, which is moved to the back of the team, uses his second skill, if it's available, that's the green skill, and then carries out ranged attacks for the next 10 seconds. The hero gets a physical attack bonus while the skill is active. So now you can kind of see why he's a warrior/marksman. He's kind of unique in that respect. Pure damage dealer. So what is that second skill? Oh, I should say the first skill is based on physical attack. So this guy is a physical attack hero. The green skill, Mirage. Elmir creates a sand clone nearby with a percentage of the hero's maximum health. The clone cannot regenerate health or receive help from allies, so no healing, from Martha or Dorian. The clone loses health over time and will live for 12 seconds if it receives no damage from other sources. So this guy, because of this ability, very effective against teams that do not do area of effect. So against the Lars Krista team, this ability just kind of falls over. Same with the Kark team. Blue ability is Perfect Blades. Sand clones, that's these guys from Mirage, get the ability to attack enemies. Clones that were created with the first skill continue attacking enemies from afar. So as you can see, this one kind of throws up some alternate heroes for the opposing team to attack, whereas this one gives them the ability to actually attack back. And you can see here the attack damage is based on a percentage of Elmir's physical attack. So again, another physical attack skill. And then finally, his Violet skill. When using his second skill, that's gaining copies. Elmir gets a chance to make 2 or 4 clones at once. So instead of 1 additional clone, he can have 2 or 4. I should say he can have 2, 3, or 4, and there's a percentage chance for that to happen with this. And then, of course, it goes up as this skill gets ranked up. So skins. You have his default skin, which is agility. I dig this guy. Like, I really do. The aesthetic. He's like, an anime ninja kind of dude with the scimitars. Holding him inverted here. We have a winter skin, which he's got, the same kind of aesthetic, more of an elf looking hero. He's got candy canes on his handles here. I like this one a lot. Of course, the winter skins only available during a special event. I'm going to do a video on that in the future. I like that skin. Probably my favorite skin. Actually, I don't know. I like the default rogue thief skin. This guy right here makes him look more like a violent warrior, but he's got this cute little bear on his shoulder. It's kind of disgusting, if you think about it. His swords are, a little bit cooler. But yeah, this the aesthetic of this guy is pretty cool. So skins, agility increases his primary stat, physical attack increases his overall physical attack, which agility does as well, and dodge for his third stat. So when it comes to stat priority, I would do agility because it adds, since this is his primary stat, this will add more physical attack than this will. So I would start with his primary default skin, as it just adds flat out more physical attack than the physical attack skin does. Of course, you want to get this one eventually. Maybe you get lucky with it, come winter time. And then third, I would focus on his barbarian skin. I would probably unlock this guy, this third skin, just to give you the nice chunk of dodge. But the way dodge works at high levels, it's percentage based. So you win some, you lose some. Stats I'll go over into a second. Items, glyphs. So what are his glyphs? So of course he has physical attack and agility. That's his first and last glyph. He also has health, armor penetration, and dodge. So pretty awesome physical attacker because he brings his own armor penetration. And what you'll see in a lot of really high-end team compositions are the damage dealers that are chosen have their own armor penetration, or they accentuate or support another hero on the team that supplies them with penetration. So in this case, this dude has got his own armor penetration. I would work on this glyph first, then agility / physical attack. I probably level these up together since glyphs are so inexpensive, but definitely agility first, then physical attack, then health, finally dodge. Armor penetration, agility, physical attack, health, and then dodge. That's the order. Gift of the Elements, this is the same for everybody. For every one you spend, he gets a little bit more agility than strength and intelligence, but 30 slots here, it's good to max those out. And finally, his artifacts. So his artifact weapon, give this a second to load up here. And of course the air conditioner kicks on, sorry about that. The Blades of Many Truths. So whenever he activates his primary, his gray skill, he gives the whole team armor penetration. So this is what I was talking about whenever I said, damage dealers and team compositions are either bring their own armor or magic penetration, or they supply it to others. And this guy is a great example of both bringing his own and supplying it to another damage dealer. So you want to pair this guy up with a physical damage dealer, and I'll get to that in a second. His book is armor penetration and physical attack. This is huge. If this was critical hit or if this was dodge, then this here would just be he wouldn't even be considered. And then finally, his ring, as everyone has, is the Ring of Agility. So Elmir and his stats. Like I mentioned earlier, he is a frontline hero. He is a warrior / marksman. A little bit of ranged attack there. His primary stat is agility. So you can see here, he's got a very high agility stat. In fact, maxed out, he has the highest agility in the game. How about that? With intelligence and strength don't matter as much, but you can see where he's at, 34th and 27th. Health, 39th overall out of about 46 heroes. His physical attack ranking, he's 4th overall, which is fantastic. I believe he's behind Astrid and Lucas, Kira, and then Ginger in that order. I could be wrong. I believe that's the order. And then of course, Elmir at 4. Armor ranking 21st, magic attack 34, magic defense 42. So not great armor, not great health. What he is big on dodge. So he's a dodge hero. He's got his own dodge glyph, and the dodge is a percentage-based mitigation. So it's pretty good. He's not as weak. He's not as flimsy as some of the other damage-dealing heroes, but he can still fall over pretty easy. You can see here he has no vampirism. He's got a good amount of armor penetration. You can see his primary artifact ability is armor penetration. Of course, his main attack is physical attack and warrior marksman. His default power ranking without any skins maxed out is rank 2. And these are Facebook stats, asterisk Facebook stats. And then with all of his skins, and he has 3, because he doesn't have a 4th skin yet, his max skin power ranking is 11th. So whenever he gets a 4th skin, if he does get a 4th skin, he'll start to get a lot higher in the max power ranking. But we all know that max power isn't everything. But that is the stats on Elmir. So where is Elmir popular? Where is he run? What team would I put him in? First and foremost, he's a physical attacking hero, so let's put him in a physical DPS team. Let's probably use Galahad as the tank. Galahad's pretty awesome. You could probably put him in with a cleaver as well. Cleaver probably works pretty well. I would have Dorian as his healer for two reasons. First of all, Dorian's artifact ability increases the physical attack of the team, which would go well with this guy as a physical attacking hero. And the second reason is whenever Elmir performs his jump back ability, and when he's on the front line as a hero, and then he activates the ranged attack thing that he does. Excuse me. When he jumps to the back, he can start to take advantage of Dorian's vampirism aura and get health back up. So he fights on the front line for a little while. He activates shifting sands. And jumps to the back, gets healed up, does his thing, gets physical attack bonus from Dorian, and then jumps to the front. So I'd probably do Astaroth would be good to keep him alive, but I would probably do Galahad or Cleaver or even Ziri instead of Astaroth for this guy. Nebula would be great, but because he jumps around so much, he kind of messes with your team's layout a little bit, and thus causes some issues. So maybe not Nebula. Kira would be good. King Mao would be good. Ginger would be good. And again, I would go with Dorian. You could also go with Martha or Thea. Probably not Celeste, but my first thought is Dorian is the healer and Galahad is the tank.